Hello, this is Anna from Madame Sew. Today we have a fun and very useful project, I hope, using our large square templates. Okay, for this bag, we're going to use the smallest template, the 4.5 inch, that will give you a 4-inch square finished to make each one of the pinwheel sections, and then the 5.5 inch, if I can get it out. That will give you a 5-inch square for this center panel. Okay, so let's get started. First thing we need to do is cut our fabric. So let's start with the solid quilting cotton. You're gonna need 2 6-inch squares and 8 5-inch squares. Then same for your printed cotton. Now instead of a printed cotton, I used self-made scrap fabric, but you know, that can make it harder to sew your half square triangle, so you may want to just use a printed cotton. You're going to need 2 6-inch squares and another 8 5-inch squares. This will make your half square triangle blocks. Now for your denim or canvas, whatever you're using for the bottom of the bag, you're going to need 2 rectangles that are going to be 26 by 7 inches. Your strips are all going to be 2.5 inches wide, and you're going to need, for the main color, 8 9 inches long and 2 6 inches long. And then for the contrasting color, you need 4 that are 13 inches long. Okay, so now that you have all your fabric cut, we're going to work on the half square triangle. So let me show you how to do that. So you're going to stack all your squares, one print, one solid, and you're going to stack them right sides together. Okay, and match the sides. And remember, you have a little leeway. We made them bigger, so you can trim them later. And now we're going to draw a line from one corner to the other. And you can really use anything you want, because you're going to cut on that line. You're not going to see it. Okay. So we're going to pin it. Okay, now you're going to take it to the machine, and what you're going to do is you're going to use your 1/4 inch foot, and you're going to line, let me show you actually. You're going to line up the blade with the line, meaning you're going to be sewing a 1/4 inch seam from that line, and you're going to do one side, and then you're going to turn it around, and you're going to do the other side. So you're going to have 2 lines, just like this. Going to have a 1/4 inch line on each side, and then you're going to cut on that line, and that's going to give you 2 blocks. And then you're going to open them up and press them, and this is what you have. Okay, so now we're going to trim them, and this is the tricky part. Try to position it. This is where having a rotary cutting mat comes in really handy, but I don't, so I'll show you, and a lot of people don't. So let me just line up the inside corners, okay, and take your time. Just make sure that you have, that you're not off one side. You need to make sure that your template is completely within your fabric, and on 1 or 2 sides it might be tight, but that's okay as long as it's in. All right, now press firmly. Once you start cutting, you don't want to move it. You don't want to rotate it, because then it will come off. So make sure you have room, be close to a corner so you have room to move around. There goes your first side. If you need to move this hand, do it. But remember, don't move the fabric or the template. And now move your body, not your fabric. And you're ignoring the little corners for now. We're just doing the sides. And now we're going to just do these little corners. But again, remember, you're not moving anything. Okay? Just move your body, not your fabric. That's your mantra. All right. And here you have your half square triangle block. Now, do that with all of them. So remember, you have 16 of the small ones and 4 of the large ones. So go deal with all of them, trim them, get them ready, and then I'm going to show you how to make the pinwheels. Pinwheel is a simple block, but it can be very confusing. So let me just give you a trick for getting them right every time. So you're going to stack your 4 half square triangle blocks. Okay, you stack them up. They're all in the same direction. The solid block is pointing towards the upper right, top right. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to pick up the top 3. You're going to give them a quarter turn and place them next to the first one. Okay. Now you're going to pick the top 2. You're going to give them another quarter turn and place them underneath. And now repeat with the last one. And there is your pinwheel. And that's how you get them right every time. Okay, because they can be very confusing. Now the other thing that you need to do to get them right is place the right on top of the left and mark that this is the seam that you're going to sew. Okay, use whatever. You can use a pin, you can use a piece of tape. I think I'm out of ink on this one. And now do the same thing on this one. And now to get a good corner, remember to lock those seams. And you are going to lock the diagonal seams together, those little bumps. You're just going to slide them together until they go no further. And if you put a pin right there, right in the seam, it'll make sure that your corners are nice and crisp. And then when you match the top to the bottom, it'll give you a nice spot to match to. So we're putting the top over the bottom, okay, right sides together. And now we're going to lock our seam here. And now you're going to pin right in that seam. Try to find there. Here we go. And the pin should go in very easily because it's going right in between both seams. So it's really going only through the thread. Okay, there we go. Of truth. Pretty good. Let's do the sashing. So you need to take your longer main color strips. Make sure you mark the center on one side, on one of the long sides, and you're just going to join them to the top and bottom of your pinwheels. Okay, so mark. Make sure you're matching it with the center seam. You're going to do a 1/4 inch seam here and same at the bottom. And do that with all your pinwheel blocks and you'll have this. Okay. And then you're going to trim one side. Okay, just the side that's going to attach to the contrasting color sashing. Okay. So you just use the edge of the pinwheel as your guide and just trim a straight line. And now to do the center block, so to do this first, you're going to need to decide on your design. Do you want them, you want this line like this? Do you want it like an arrow? Do you want it like that? Just decide. For me, I like it like this. So I marked the center of my block. You just fold it and mark the center. Okay, and on your shorter main color strip, you need to mark the center on all sides. And on the short sides, you need to make an extra long mark because you're going to trim it. So you want to be able to see part of your mark after you trim it. Okay, so now same thing here. We're just going to match those marks, 1/4 inch seam, open it up, 1/4 inch seam, and then you're going to trim both sides because you're going to attach more sashing to both sides. Okay, so let's do that and then I'll show you how to attach the contrasting color sashing. Okay, so to attach the contrasting color sashing, I've done this half so you can see how it works. But what's really important here, it didn't matter so much with the top ones, but here it's really, really important that you match the center marks because it's going to affect how the whole thing reads and it's going to make sure that this matches, oops, the other block on this side. So make sure you match them. If you need to mark it on the other side, you know, I did a little finger pressing so I can see it on both sides. Do that. So this quarter seam, and then I'll show you a little trick to make sure that everything matches nicely. So we've attached the sashing to the center block, and now we're going to attach it to this block. Now make sure you're using your trimmed side. I mean, you could trim both sides. I like to leave that for the end. Okay, and now we have to match the center with the center seam. Let's do that. But for extra safety, see, and here things moved a little bit, you need to make sure that the edge of your sashing is matching the edge of the block there, and you can see it pretty well. And you may need to give it a little bit of a stretch and use some pins to keep it in place. Okay, and then when we unfold the whole thing, everything will be nicely lined up, and that is important. And then we'll have a complete upper panel. We'll just need to trim these two little pieces here and attach our lower panel right here. Okay, so we're almost done. This is the home stretch. So it does look good. We're going to trim it. All right, and now this is the last step before our quilting. So we are just going to attach this to the bottom. It should be a little wider. Okay, see, it's just about the extra width of your sashing. Just match it, 1/4 inch seam down here, and then we're ready to quilt. All right, we're ready to quilt. So I've already done one panel right here. Okay, this is done. But if you're doing both panels, you can't just have all your batting and all your backing in one piece and then put both panels one next to the other on top and just quilt it in one go. Okay, or you can, you know, cut them in half and do it in 2 pieces. So the only thing is you need to baste it, obviously. So you have your backing, and it can be whatever. It can be, you know, that ugly fabric that you don't know what to do with because it's going to be covered by the lining. It's just to keep, you know, things secure. Your batting, and you want a fairly thin batting. You don't want anything too lofty. And then your top. So as you always do, you know, make sure everything is nice and flat, and, you know, use your favorite basting method. You can, oh my goodness, they are so tangled up. Anyway, you can use your curved pins, you can, you know, baste it by hand, you can, whichever way, but you do need to baste it, even though it's fairly small, you want to baste it. And the very important thing is you need to do, whichever way you choose to quilt it, you need to do it pretty densely. Like even 1 inch feels a little too loose for me, okay? Because this is going to have to, you know, bear a lot of weight, and it has, you know, a lot of patchwork, so you don't want those seams to rip apart. You want something to really keep them nice and secure. Okay, so I'm just going to do some straight lines between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch apart from each other. Okay, so not quite matchstick, but close enough. Okay, so here it is quilted, and what we need to do now is trimming. Now, quilting does distort things, so don't freak out. Don't get too, you know, gung-ho on getting it perfectly, exactly the way it should be, because it's probably not going to happen. So save yourself that pain. So for the bottom part, you want to use your center seam as your guide, okay, for both parts actually, but mostly for the bottom. So make sure that you have 6 inches from the corners. If things don't match very well in the center, don't worry about it. What you want is the corners, because you want to match them with the side seam on the other panel. Okay, cut that part, Oh, something is up. All right. And now for the sides and the top, you're going to use the edge of the block as your guide, okay? But again, things are going to be a little distorted. Your lines are not going to be perfectly straight, but that's okay. All right. You want to get, as many straight lines as you can. And you want to get it as close to the edge as you can. That looks pretty good. So see, you're going to be trimming a little bit there, and it's going to be just like a hair short there, but that is really not a big deal. It's going to be, especially the bottom corner, you're going to cut it off when we box it, so no big deal. All right, so let's do the same with the top and the other side, and then I'm going to show you how to attach the handles. So attaching the handles is really a very simple process. The basic sewing is just top stitching along one edge, pivoting at the top, going across, and then coming down the other side, okay? And notice that I have a mark here on the top. It's 1 inch from the top, and that is because when we are putting the back together and attaching the lining, we need to stay clear of this. So in fact, what we're going to do is we're going to just pin this to just make sure that it stays out of the way and it doesn't get caught on anything. All right, so let me show you how to do this, which is very simple. So if you are a perfectionist, you probably want to mark a line down the middle, but I'm not. So I just get my glue stick. It's a washable glue stick. Actually, let's mark that edge first. Here's my marker. And I'm going pretty much all the way across so I can see it when I'm sewing. Once I have that handle in place, you want to be able to see it because that's where you need to stop. I just put some glue right down the middle. Line up my handle at the bottom, edge to edge, roughly center it. It's not an exact science. If you really want it to be very exact, just measure from the edges of your sashing here. Okay, but I'm not. And now with the dry iron, oops, don't erase your marker like I just did. I wasn't paying attention. You just set it, and now the only thing you need to be careful about is when you are turning it, don't twist it, okay? So now we're going to put glue on the other side and do the exact same thing, and then take it to the machine and do that top stitching. And then all that's left is to put your back together. Almost done. So before we put the back together, the next thing you need to do is to measure your panels and cut your lining to the same size. Okay, you're going to need 2 lining panels that are the same size as your regular panels. And we didn't do this at the beginning because depending on how you quilt, your width and your length might vary a little bit. Okay, this part is very basic. You're just going to put both panels right sides together. You're going to make sure that you match the side seams here. They're matched, and you're just going to use some clips all around. Okay, so we're going to do a 1/4 inch seam around the 2 short edges and the bottom. Now, for the lining, you're going to do the exact same thing. You don't need to hem them or anything, but you need to remember to leave about 8 inches at the bottom that you're not going to sew, because that's what we're going to use to turn it inside out. Okay, so don't forget that on your lining. The top, you can sew the whole thing around. We've done our 1/4 inch seam. It's all ready to go, all nicely joined. Okay, and now we're going to box the corners. So I did one already. I mean, I didn't do it, but I just cut the edge. So we're going to draw a 4 inch square. Okay, just line it up. And you're going to cut on this, and it's on the inside anyway, so you may not want to waste your good ink on this, your good heat erasable ink. Okay, and now we're going to just cut that square. And if you're brave, you can use your rotary cutter, but it's just a little nerve-wracking to think that you can go past that corner and ruin your bag after all this work. So scissors are a little safer. The trick to the box corners is just to grab the corner itself. Okay, and you're going to match the seam in the middle. It's very easy. It wants to go this way, and you're just going to do another 1/4 inch seam here. And if you feel like a 1/4 inch is not enough and it's just too tight, do a 1/2 inch. That's fine. It's just, you know, it's going to make very, very little difference. And this is just the bottom, so there is no print, there is nothing there that you need to worry about. Just the only thing you want to make sure is that your seams are matched. Okay, so do it here, do it on the other corner, not there, the other corner, and it will look like this when you're done. Here's my lining, and do it on the lining as well. You're doing the exact same thing. Remember to leave your hole in the bottom, but this is what your corner will look like once it's done. Okay, so do that, and then we're just going to finish it, put it together. It's 2 more seams. Here it is. Now it's almost done. So obviously the bag is inside out, right? But your lining is going to have to be right side out, okay? Because you're going to put it inside, and you want the right sides touching, okay? Find those corners and match them roughly, okay? Don't worry too much, but you just want it to be, you don't want it to be twisted inside, okay? So match your side seams, and now we're going to clip it all around. Just use your clips all around the edge, and you're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam, okay? Just right there, another 1/4 inch. All right, we're practically done. So now we're going to turn it inside out. We have this 1/4 inch seam all around the top. So now I'm just going to reach into the hole that I left in the lining, and I am going to pull the bag out. And that's why I left such a big hole. I mean, you could make it 6 inches, but it's going to be tight. You know, the bag is big and it's stiff, so. Okay. Oh, actually, I said earlier 2 seams. Not true, because I forgot. You will have to finish this up. So you just turn in the seam allowances, and you can do it by hand. I like to just throw it under the machine and do it. Nobody's going to see it in there. Okay, so just a narrow seam will work. Okay, but the one that we absolutely need to make look good is this. That seam allowance that has all the batting underneath is all stiff and standing up. So we're going to press it and bring the lining to the inside, just like this, okay? And then, actually, I'm not even going to press it. I'm just going to clip it like this. It's behaving pretty nicely. So, you know, just put clips all around, and then decide how low you want your top stitching. And as I said, in this one, I think I want a little too small. This must be not even 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to go a little lower to make sure that I catch, you know, the lining on the inside with a little more room. Okay? And that is it. You are done. Just do that top stitching and you will be done. Right, here it is. We did it. Have it nicely lined. Okay, we did our top stitch, and Here's our very roomy bag to take to the market or the beach or wherever you want. We hope you make it. Let us know in the comments if you decide to go ahead and do it, or any other projects that you use the square templates for. And as always, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.